If you're a senior struggling with sleep, you would probably be willing to pay a lot of money for a good night's rest. But what if I told you you could dramatically improve your sleep for less than $50? You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on a new mattress or a fancy sleep tracker. Instead, I'm going to walk you through 7 of my personal favorite science-backed sleep products for seniors that will not break the bank. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Bruce, the Sleep Doctor. All right, this first one is one of the absolute best sleep products I recommend everyone buy, especially if you're a senior. And that's because multiple studies show that one of the most effective ways to enhance your sleep quality and duration is by blocking light disruption. As you get older, your sleep is naturally less deep, so you are more sensitive to stimuli in your environment. Something as simple as a porch light coming in from the window, bouncing across your eyelid could be enough to wake you up at 3 a.m. To help with light sensitivity, a lot of people like to install blackout curtains in their bedroom. I've got to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of these. For one, they can be a little bit on the expensive side, but 2, they are hard to install. And 3, well, if you get up in the middle of the night to pee, which usually happens to me, it's pitch black and that could be a trip and fall hazard. Instead, I like to use a sleep mask because it blocks out virtually any light from hitting your eyeballs. And if you get up in the middle of the night to pee, they're easy to quickly remove and then put back on. Now, there are a lot of sleep masks on the market. Personally, I like the Manta sleep mask because it has adjustable eye cups. You can actually move them around in the mask, and then there's an indentation within the cups that you don't get any pressure on your eyeballs themselves. I sleep with mine pretty much every night, and I love it. The Manta is also made from very soft and breathable material, so it won't make your face too hot at night. Plus, it's machine washable, and you can usually pick them up for around $40, which is totally worth it. Just like light, noise can also be very disruptive to your sleep, especially as we get older. Even something like a car driving down the street or your bed partner changing sleep positions can be enough to wake you up, or at the very least, bring you out of a deeper stage of sleep. White noise can be a great tool at masking these sounds because it contains all frequencies across the spectrum of audible sound in equal measure. It's kind of like static from the TV or radio, if you can remember back in the day when snow would kind of come on at the end of the station. But because of that high frequency, white noise itself isn't great for sleep. It's not bad for blocking out stuff, but it's not the best for sleep. Instead, you may want to try pink noise. It works essentially the same way as white noise, but at a much lower frequency. That lower frequency makes pink noise much more conducive to helping you sleep. In fact, there was even a recent study that showed that pink noise helps seniors improve their slow wave brain activity during sleep. Remember, slow wave brain activity during sleep is what helps us form memories. So not only will pink noise help you stay asleep, it could actually improve the quality of that sleep itself. That's why I also like the Yoga Sleep Dream Center, because it works like any other white noise machine, but you also have the option to play pink noise. What's also great, it's simple and it's affordable. Usually you can buy it for around $25. Now, there are some white noise apps that you can download and play off your phone, but as many of you know, I'm not the biggest fan of keeping your phone next to your bed unless you really need to. So to get a standalone white noise machine, I personally think is the way to go. I'm also a big fan of earplugs, but I understand that earplugs aren't comfortable for everyone, especially if you're a side sleeper. But I wanted to let you know that they can be a great alternative to white noise machines. You can get a pair for like $2 or $5 at most hardware stores or even at the drugstore. This next one isn't for everyone, but for some people, it can be a game changer, and that is the Mute Nasal Dilator. They're about $15 for a pack of 3. How this works is you take this little clip and you gently place it at the base of your nose, and it helps widen your nasal passages. You actually go up and in, watch me, just like this. Now, why does this matter? Well, the tissue in your nose and throat become less firm as you age, resulting in a narrower airway. And that can make breathing through the nose a bit more problematic. The harder it is to breathe through your nose, the more likely your body will default to breathing through, you guessed it, your mouth, which is a real problem. Now, you might be saying to yourself, wait a second, I breathe through my mouth all the time. Why is this a problem? First of all, your mouth doesn't filter air as well as your nose does. So you end up inhaling more pathogens and can lead to things like tooth decay and even cardiovascular disease. Secondly, multiple studies show that mouth breathing leads to low oxygen concentration in the blood, which is associated with a higher risk of high blood pressure as well as heart failure. Mouth breathing can also make you wake up feeling more tired, less rested, with an uncomfortable dry mouth. When you use a mute nasal dilator, it actually helps open up these nasal passages, helping you breathe more correctly at night, contributing to better health as well as deeper rest. Also, my wife complains a lot less when I have one of these in if I've had a glass of wine or a bourbon. Before we go on to the next one, if you enjoy this kind of sleep content, do me a favor, please give the video a like and go subscribe to the channel below. Your support allows me to keep making this type of sleep content for you in the future. So do me a huge favor. If you're new to this channel, go do it right now. And if you're interested in learning even more about your sleep, I've got a website with content including sleep articles, product reviews, a shop page, even more. Now, us seniors, we wake up a lot and have to go to the bathroom. However, switching on a bright overhead light can make it very hard to fall back asleep once you're done kind of doing your business in the bathroom. And it makes sense. Your body is used to dark and all of a sudden, boom, it's getting bombarded with bright light. It is no wonder your brain is going to think it's actually time to wake up. At the same time, I don't advise that you go to the bathroom in the dark because of the risks of tripping and falling. Instead, a motion sensing nightlight can provide just enough illumination for you to make your way to the bathroom, do your business, and then get back to bed ready to drift off for sleep. Personally, I recommend the Beams Motion Sensing Nightlight. You can get a 3-pack at Amazon for around $18, and the Beams light is great because it's wireless and battery powered, with double-sided tape on the back so you can just stick it wherever you want. I bought the 3-pack and put one in the hallway to the bathroom, one is next to the toilet so I can see what I'm doing, and then one is right above the sink so I can wash my hands before going back to bed. Now, as you get older, your blood circulation naturally slows down. At the same time, the fat layer under your skin gets thinner and thinner, and your metabolism slows down, all of which make your body produce less internal heat, which can be very disruptive to sleep. So what you really want to do to help your sleep is to better regulate your core body temperature. One way to do that is by something called vasodilation or blood vessel expansion. So how do you do that? Oddly enough, by keeping your feet warm. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but keeping your feet warm when you sleep can be a great way to promote vasodilation without overheating your body. Remember, our bodies prefer cooler temperatures for sleep, so we want to be careful not to overheat. That's why just focusing on your feet can be a great way to increase blood flow without getting your entire body too hot. Now, you can wear socks to bed, of course, but as a number of you have pointed out in my recent video, socks can be uncomfortable to wear in bed. So instead, I would recommend you buy the Pure Relief Deluxe Heating Pad, which is going to run you about $30. I like this one because it comes in an extra large size, which means you can lay it horizontally across the foot of your bed and have plenty of room for your feet, regardless of your sleep position. Plus, if you have animals in the bed, like I do with my French bulldogs, they tend to cuddle up on the heating pad, which helps prevent them from getting into your way. Another great addition to your bedroom, a Bagby silent alarm clock. These are really nice, simple alarm clocks that have this pretty wood design. Costs about $35, and I'm a big fan of it for 2 reasons. Number one, if you're like me, you were using your phone as an alarm clock. And as I mentioned, I'm not a fan of keeping your phone right next to your bed. Studies show that keeping your phone next to your bed can negatively impact your sleep through increased exposure of blue light. Instead, your phone should be on the other side of the bedroom, or even better, in a separate room entirely. Second, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't get back to sleep, one of the things I recommend is to avoid looking at the clock. Once you look at the clock, your brain starts to get stressed out about how little sleep you're getting. And with the Bagby alarm clock, you can simply turn it away so you can't see if you wake up in the middle of the night. I find it's just a little bit easier to avoid than, say, the clock on the wall or on my phone. Plus, the Bagby doesn't make any ticking sounds, and it's got a very simple, gentle wake-up tone. It kind of makes the morning a little bit better to help ease you out of sleep. Finally, I want to talk about a product you're already well aware of, but probably don't know that it has a huge impact on your sleep quality. You guessed it, your pillow. We take our pillows for granted, but a pillow can be as important, if not more important, for your sleep than even your mattress, especially for us seniors. Our pillow can play a huge role in managing neck, shoulder, as well as back pain. Once more, we tend to hang on to our pillows much longer than we should. Let me ask you a question. Is your pillow more than a year old? 2 years? 5 years? How about 10? They really aren't meant to last that long. In fact, the average lifespan for a pillow is 18 months to 2 years. After that, they not only start to lose their support, they can also become filled with dust and dead skin. The good news is a good pillow doesn't have to be super expensive. I do recommend you spend at least $50 on a new one, but you don't need to spend much more than that. Just make sure that you're buying a new one roughly every 18 months. Trust me, keeping your pillow fresh, supportive, and clean will have a huge impact on your sleep. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a specific pillow recommendation to make here, but that's because I think it's really important to find the right pillow for your specific needs. If you need help with that, check out my video on how to buy a pillow right here. And if you have any sleep products you recommend, do me a favor, drop a note in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. This is Dr. Michael Bruce, the Sleep Doctor, wishing you sweet dreams.